There's an age-old misconception about fatherhood that men are not as competent as women at raising kids, often portrayed as secondary parents. But men are railing against the dopey dad stereotype in their droves. New advertising rules in the UK are clamping down on outdated gender portrayals. And now a new book is championing the rise of the hands-on dad and what it means to be a good father, as fatherhood is undergoing a revolution. I'm joined now by one of the three authors of The Fatherhood, Jeremy McVean. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming in, leaving the kids and coming to talk to us tonight. Men often get a pretty bad rap in the parenting stakes, don't they? Is it time for dads to have a rebrand?
Well, we do think it is. There's been such significant change in the last generation. In 1965, since 1965, dads are now spending 3 times as much time with their kids as they did back then. So there's just been this enormous amount of change in gender roles. And so therefore what we're trying to do with The Fatherhood and this book we've released just out for Father's Day is really tell that story of this immense change and why we believe it's the best time ever in the history of the world to be a dad.
Well, things are changing, as you say. An example is the UK has recently banned an advertisement that portrays dads as irresponsible and incompetent, which is a stereotype we used to celebrate. Let's have a look at the ad that they've pulled.
New dad too. Wow, look at this lunch.
Yeah, hard to choose.
Oh, this looks good. That's really good.
Well, that's the Philadelphia.
Let's not tell Mum.
Yeah, the advertisers say it was meant to be humorous. People might get a laugh out of that. Dad's not up for the job, ha, ha, ha. But how damaging are those stereotypes of fatherhood?
Yeah, they're very damaging. And the reason for that is it's damaging for all. This isn't just about dads. This is about the family. So in some ways that advertisement casts dads being as incompetent and buffoons, so therefore that means mum therefore needs to be the primary caregiver and therefore may not be able to get back into the workforce or leave the kids with dad. And the kids are also impacted negatively because therefore if dads aren't able to look after their kids as that advertisement suggests, then they don't get that one-on-one time, and we know that has negative impacts for the child as well as the father. So it impacts everyone, those kind of stereotypes.
You're certainly doing your bit to change those perceptions. This book you've co-authored, The Fatherhood, it aims to celebrate the new role of fathers. To do that, you've enlisted some pretty impressive dads for their take on fatherhood. Before we talk about that further, here's a sneak peek.
It's worth it, and you become more of a man because of it.
Family here and work here is complete garbage. You've got to have balance with your family.
Love and appreciation and proudness, all these sort of things which you don't really get with sport.
Oh, wow, you also spoke to Hugh Jackman, David Beckham, Mark Wahlberg, Ben Stiller. Just a few nobodies, really. Did they take much convincing to be a part of it?
No, one of those things about we're all so proud. The children impact everyone's lives in such a massive way and transform everyone's lives. It's one of the easiest things to talk about and one of the things that we all most want to talk about. So the content for the book came together fairly quickly and we're really proud of the end product.
What message are you hoping to get across in that book? Are you attempting to validate fathers or encourage them to step up?
Oh, it's really a celebration. So that's why it's out before Father's Day. It's a perfect pat on the back to dads in anyone's life to say thank you for the amazing contribution that you're making. And so it's really a dopamine. It's 328 pages of dopamine hits about the great impact that dads can have on their families and those people around them.
You also spoke to not just dads and not just celebrity dads, but parenting experts, the likes of Steve Biddulph, who most people know. He's quoted in your book as saying that the role dads play in families today is a revolution of the deepest kind. How much more involved are fathers today, and you did touch on it earlier, compared to the previous generation, compared to what our dads would have been like?
Yeah, so there is a fundamental change happening around us, and that's what the book reflects. It's stories from the heart, from a whole bunch of people, like you're saying, whether it's celebrities and academics or everyday dads, and they all tell a really similar story, funny enough, and that is just that they're seeing this huge change in terms of involvement of fathers in everyday parenting. And yeah, it's a revolution of the deepest kind. Just amazing words, and the best time in the history to be a father. So just a really strong words, and it's a great read, and it encourages and really thanks dads that are getting involved.
There is no template, of course, for being a good dad. There's not one for being a good mother either. Let me tell you, does your book provide a kind of template?
Well, as you say, there is no template, and because there's so much change going on around us, the rules are really being rewritten, and we're all working it out together as a society about how we exist in these changing times. And so there isn't a template, but there's a whole bunch of really valuable perspectives and tips, and I know I've learnt a lot in working through the book and reading it again once it's a finished product here, and yeah, I'm sure everyone that reads it will get something out of it.
What does being a dad mean to you, Jeremy?
It's the world, my life. I'm a lucky father of 3 gorgeous girls, and my life's been forever changed since the moment they came into my life, and there's no other way, there's no better way to get me to cry than talk about my girls. Let's put it that way. It means the world to me.
Yeah, I think all parents can relate to that one. Jeremy McVean, congrats on the fatherhood, and thank you for your time tonight.
Thanks so much for having me in.